Welcome back, NicknLex here. This is Nick. Thank you so much for joining another section of Metal with Nick. I'm super excited. I've got my first 11 requests in these last couple of days, and I'm working on them, as fast as I can. Now, we did have a long weekend. There was a lot of stuff to do, and we were busy. Also, Alexia. So Alexia, of course, is joining us soon on the normal channel, reactions, but we're still looking into what we're gonna do for today. But today I am gonna react to another song by our dear supporter. Thank you so much again for this, Kai, and his last name is Stroscher, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's Stroscher. But it's it is so German. Especially I had a friend in high school. His name was Kai, and Stroscher is just very German. So I guess I'm pronouncing in the way that I know how to. Okay, so without further ado, we're gonna do a reaction to the band Rhapsody. So I've heard some Rhapsody before, but I never got into it. I know it's power metal. I guess it does have some progressive elements. I'm not sure, but it's more like, power metal with classical inspired influences like Yngwie Malmsteen and Stradivarius and Halloween. No, it's not Halloween. It's Halloween. And I would put the band in that category of power metal of sometimes there's a lot of choruses. It's very, I don't want to call it happy, but it's very uplifting. It's that kind of metal. So I know it's in that vein. It's with guitar player Luca Turilli. They're from Italy. So we're gonna do Symphony of Enchanted Lands, and that's the title. That's the title song of the album. Now I did a little bit of research, just to not be in the complete dark. Let's see here. Let's just checking. Okay, it's from 1998. Cool. Awesome. So 90s metal. So basically in the time of grunge and new metal, and it was hard to stay relevant, so I really love to listen to what people were going through. I remember the Iron Maiden, for example. Iron Maiden albums in 1998 was very odd, very weird time to be making metal. But let's get into it. Let's see. Now this is something I mean, yes, Alexia might enjoy this, but she would I don't know. It's a long song. It's let's see here. It is not the album opener. It's the album closer, Symphony of the Enchanted Lands, 13 minutes and 16 seconds. So yeah, she would have a little bit of trouble sitting through that, and especially if it's this stuff can get very intense, but I love it, Okay, so let's get into it. I've been talking for 4 minutes, blabbering and stuff, but I hope you do enjoy. Thank you so much, Kai, for the support. Thank you, everybody who has submitted a request so far. Like I said, I got my first 11. I was so happy because, I don't know if you guys like just me on the screen, if you miss Alexia, but we were really honest when we said, hey, she's not the biggest fan of heavy metal, and then we said we're not going to do the death metal anymore. If you guys request it, I'll do it, but we're not going to focus too much. We're just going to focus on hard rock and heavy metal, or metal, any kind of heavy music that she might not be too comfortable with. Although if I play her, Dream Theater and Symphony X, she does like it, but it's not something that she would play in the car or in the bathroom or so. She listens more to Genesis, Pink Floyd, Steely Dan, all the stuff we've been covering, but she's basically, that's her new comfort zone. And me too, but I do love metal. I grew up with heavy metal and I just love it. So reacting to this is wonderful for me. So guys, if you want me to react to another song that's just for you, so I can basically sit down just for you, you can put in a request. I'm going to put it in the description. You can click on there, claim a request. I think that I got another 18 slots. And then if those are like, you know, are come to an end, I'll open another 25. So I have no problem doing this. I love it, actually. Okay, so now let's get into it. And let's see. So Symphony of the Enchanted Lands by Rhapsody. Let's go. Get everything. The volume is all up. And here we go. Like horses, maybe?
Oh, cruel destiny. The tears soon covered the warrior's face, and Taros, the beloved dragon, spread his wings for the last time. Happy to have found the freedom, at least in death. Fly, fly high, mighty Taros. Your name will always be remembered by the people of the Enchanted Lands, and your memory will march with us forever against the hordes of the Black Lord, for the salvation of the Enchanted Lands. Goodbye, brother. Goodbye.
This reminds me of Shadow Gallery. They also have voiceover, like... It was called the Queen of the Castle of Ice, something like that. Some nice orchestration. I mean, you can hear that it's not an orchestra, but it's synthesized. It's really cool what they could do. Very nice. Very good.
Lord of the wind, now blowing on me. Thank you for your listening. For mountains and hills, the forest, the sea, for all the dead, and for my princess. They shed their blood, 'cause finally the earth soul is alive.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Crescendo galore. Okay, let's see. Okay, I knew this was gonna happen. Wow, really cool. I love how just it like builds up and it builds and builds, and that voice, it's just like it has like this longing. It's really like we're about to go to battle, you know, and it has this like even the trumpets, and it feels very of course like medieval, you know, medieval times, and you know we're about to fight, and I love this whole like vibe that like now you could say maybe like Lord of the Rings, you know, Game of Thrones, if you want to have like a visual aid, but it would go very well. I mean, in that time in 98, we didn't have those movies to, you know, I mean, we had movies about knights and stuff, but it's really well done without the orchestra, just with the keyboards. It does feel legit, and what a voice. I mean, and this build up is like, and then it just, I know it's going to go into like boom, 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 boom. But like I said, even these choruses, they feel very, very legit. Like, you know, they know what they're doing. They're into it, you know, that's their style. And I love when musicians take themselves very seriously, you know? So let's go back. I go back always like 5 seconds. I want you guys to get the full experience. Let's see what happens now after this little break, okay? The church vibe is so good. It has a very cool like score vibe. Wow, beautiful. Beautiful voice. like almost like an angel.
Go, mighty warrior. The kings of Enchanted Lands are awaiting your victory. Ride on the wings of wisdom. Ride beyond the middle valleys to defeat the master of chaos in the name of cosmic justice. Peace and love forever.
Love it. Wow, man. Beautiful flute here. Very legit, like, scales they're using. Beautiful. Yeah. It's a great closer to an album. Wow. Well, that was fantastic. It was really like, just like I said, like I'd imagined. It was like this tale of battle, and oh, man, it was so good. Like it was, you can't really call it, I mean, it would go in the realm of progressive metal, but it's not so much in your face. It does have these time signature changes, but not mid song. It's just like from one section to the other, and it's not so like in your face like the Symphony X. It did remind me a lot of Symphony X, or but it also reminded me a lot of bands like Manowar or Ice to Earth, who are very inspired by medieval times and, you know, knights, and, you know, just this whole like dark ages vibe. You know, it's really cool, like the whole like Celtic feel that it had, and neoclassical. There was some amazing solos in there, like a lot of sweep picking, but it was always interesting. It always kept it interesting. There were like a lot of like these, it was like boom, like dun, 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 and then like there are a lot of rhythms who like held this whole thing together. And it's a long song, it's an epic song, but I was never like bored, or I was always in, you know, in there. Like it never seemed like too much or like not enough. It was just the right amount, and musically it was just amazing. I loved every second of it. I mean, you can see that these people are super passionate about their source material and about the music they decide to choose. It is metal, but it's power metal, it's neoclassical, and it's, you know, it has this vibe from these medieval times, which I love. There, I have to tell you guys a story. So I've always been a fan of fantasy, and, you know, like was it like Star Wars, or was it Lord of the Rings, or was it the, you know, anything like Willow back in the day. That movie was just fantastic. Or even like the Ewoks movies, or like Labyrinth, and anything that had to do with fantasy, but also like, you know, Mel Gibson's what was it called, Braveheart, and all this. Like, I've always been attracted to this kind of stuff, like Conan the Barbarian, and then Conan the Destroyer. So yeah, so I grew up with this stuff. So when I met Alexia and I told her, hey, have you ever seen Lord of the Rings? She was like, oh my God, no. Or I don't like them. And I'm like, why not? Oh yeah, I just don't like anything but people like, you know, wear like coats and, you know, armor and they're riding around in horses. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And she didn't like any sci-fi either. Like, she'd never seen Star Wars. I don't know. It's just like, I guess not in the family. She's always been into movies, like serious movies, like, not that all this stuff is not serious, but I mean, she's always been into gangster movies and thrillers and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, let's do this. And Game of Thrones was very popular at the time, so I guess it was like on the 5th season, something like that. So I told her, okay, let's do this. Let's watch one episode of Game of Thrones. I'd already seen like the first 3 seasons, and I was like addicted. And if you don't like it after the first episode, we'll never have to watch it again, I promise. And she's like, perfect. I'm gonna like just watch this episode. I know I'll hate it, and then he's never gonna like bother me again. So we sat down, and we started watching Game of Thrones first episode. And as soon as that gate opens, and that first scene, and you see 3 guys on a horse, and she was like, okay, here we go. But then they walk out of the wall, and it starts, and just the writing of the episode, she was like, oh my God, what is this? She was hooked, absolutely hooked. She, after the first episode, she's like, play the next one. I'm like, also, you did like it. I'm loving it. So I guess she's never had been exposed to this kind of, like, you know, material, and it's amazing. I mean, what is not to like, you know? There's this awesome movie that I just saw, the Northman. Holy moly, there were beasts. So cool. Vikings. I love the whole spectacle. I just love it. I just love to think that before all this, what we have now, there were people that were like, you know, fighting for land, and it was crazy. It was much more brutal than the times right now. So, but they had beautiful music, and this is what, for example, this band here, Rhapsody, like uses. They use these old scales and incorporate them into metal, and it does fit. It has this strength to it, you know, like this power that you feel when you listen to metal. So this was just amazing. I hope I didn't make the video too long, because I mean, I do love to talk about this kind of stuff, but I mean, I mean, everybody in this band was just fantastic. The drummer, the bass player, all the wind instruments. I mean, the wind instruments I think were done by keyboards. I think the violin was a real violin. I'm sure it was. The guitars were just phenomenal. And oh my God, the singer and the female singer were amazing. And the choruses were just breathtaking. I could see like those green fields, you know, and the battlefields and all that good stuff. And it was just amazing. Thank you so much again, Kai, for this request. I really enjoyed it. I'll definitely play this song to Alexia. Let's see what she thinks. And maybe in the future we can do more metal with her. Right now, I just don't see it. And I want to stay busy on the channel and, you know, give you guys content. And we do have so much. We have like over 700 songs that are mostly like 70s rock. So I wanted to take a step back and get into, you know, like the 90s and the 2000s and maybe 80s as well, metal, and just, you know, talk a little bit more about that. And since she does have these back problems, and she's just like, it's hard for her to sit through a song that's like, I've been sitting here for almost 30 minutes. So I hope you understand. So again, if you guys would like to, do a request, let me know. Send me an email and I'll do the song that you request. And of course, I'll mention you and everything. Thank you so much again, Kai, for the request. Thank you everyone that's watching for liking and subscribing. And I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.